For years, Hollywood believed Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban were untouchable. The rare love story that survived fame, addiction, distance, and time. They weren't just a celebrity couple. They were proof that fairy tales could be real. But what if the story everyone believed was only half the truth? Because real fairy tales don't explode in public. They collapse in silence, behind closed doors, unread messages, and moments no camera ever sees. And while the world applauded, one man watched everything unravel from the shadows. Russell Crowe. Back in January 2005, Los Angeles was buzzing with energy during the G-Day LA Gala, an event packed with global stars and industry power players. Nicole Kidman stood in the room as one of the most recognizable women in the world, still carrying the emotional weight of her 2001 divorce from Tom Cruise. To the public, she looked radiant and composed, but those close to her knew she was vulnerable, searching for something that felt safe and real again. Across the ballroom stood Russell Crowe, a longtime friend whose bond with Nicole had solidified years earlier during their Proof of Life era. He wasn't there just as another actor. He was watching over her, the way he always had. And from his position, he noticed something that most people completely missed. The moment Keith Urban walked in. At the time, Keith Urban wasn't the global superstar he would later become. He was an Australian country singer with undeniable talent, a shy smile, and a quiet presence. When Nicole's eyes met his, it wasn't casual, it wasn't polite, it lingered. She would later admit she felt an instant crush, a spark she couldn't explain. But Keith didn't approach her. He didn't even speak. He simply walked past. What followed was unexpected silence. For long months passed without a single call. Nicole quietly wondered if she had imagined the connection. Russell Crowe noticed the shift in her energy. He sensed she was hoping for something solid after emotional chaos. And he also sensed that Keith carried unresolved instability that no one was talking about. Yet, for months later, everything changed. Keith Urban finally called. He took Nicole on a Harley-Davidson ride through Woodstock, New York, ending with a quiet picnic surrounded by pine trees. In that moment, Nicole decided he was the one. She later said she knew she would spend her life with him. The romance escalated quickly, fueled by intensity, longing, and the desire for a fresh start. By June 25, 2006, they were married in SYDNEY. Inside the Cardinal Churetti Memorial Chapel, the wedding was described as the event of the decade. More than 230 guests attended, including Hugh Jackman and Russell Crowe. Cameras flashed as Nicole stepped out in a stunning Balenciaga gown. To the world, it looked like the perfect ending. They created rituals that seemed almost poetic. They promised to write letters to each other every night they were apart. They vowed never to spend more than a few days separated. The image of their marriage became legendary. But while the world celebrated, Russell Crowe noticed subtle hesitation. He saw a woman giving everything, and a man who hadn't fully conquered his demons. Just 4 months later, in October 2006, the fairy tale collapsed. Keith Urban relapsed on crystal meth. The crisis was immediate and devastating. Nicole Kidman, at the height of her career and preparing for Fur, an imaginary portrait of Diane Arbus, canceled appearances, stepped away from projects, and moved her entire life to Nashville, Tennessee to stand by her husband as he entered rehab. To Russell Crowe, their survival during this period was nothing short of a miracle, but he also noticed something else beginning to form, a deep imbalance. Nicole became the stabilizer, the protector, the one who sacrificed momentum and comfort. Keith later admitted he had hit rock bottom just months into the marriage. Their nightly letters continued, but they were no longer romantic gestures. They were lifelines. The marriage survived. They welcomed 2 daughters, Sunday Rose in 2008 and Faith Margaret in 2010, to the public. It was a triumphant story of love conquering addiction. But behind the scenes, Russell Crowe saw the hidden cost. The early sacrifice never truly balanced out. Keith Urban became a relentless touring artist, spending more than 200 days a year on the road. Nicole stayed behind, holding the family together. By the early 2010s, distance became the silent threat. Not explosive fights, silence. Phone calls shortened. Explanations became vague. When Nicole visited KEITH on tour, The media framed it as romantic devotion, but in reality, those visits were checks on a life she no longer fully understood. Between 2017 and 2019, Nicole poured herself into Big Little Lies, delivering one of the most emotionally raw performances of her career. Keith later admitted it was difficult to watch. He was coming off the high of sold-out arenas, while she was processing fictional trauma that felt painfully real. They were living on entirely different emotional frequencies. Then came 2018. In the quiet of their home, Nicole noticed a notification on Keith's phone that didn't belong. What she found wasn't a single message, but a trail, text with a backup singer that went far beyond professional boundaries. The confrontation that followed lasted for hours. No screaming, no theatrics, just evidence, timelines, and truth. The first person Nicole called afterward was Russell Crowe. He had sensed the warning signs for years, but now the proof was undeniable. Russell confronted Keith directly, warning him he was about to lose the best thing in his life. Keith promised transparency. Therapy followed. For a moment, the marriage appeared repaired, but broken trust leaves cracks that never fully disappear. At the AFI Life Achievement Award in April 2024, Keith Urban cried publicly while thanking Nicole for saving his life. The world saw romance. Russell Crowe saw guilt. Behind the scenes, the secrecy had returned. The marriage was being held together by pure willpower. By summer 2025, their final joint appearance at a FIFA event in Nashville felt strained. The smiles didn't reach their eyes. The nightly letters were gone. The distance had finished its work. The divorce filing happened quietly on September 30, 2025. The final settlement was signed on January 6, 2026. The numbers told the real story. Nicole Kidman received 306 days of custody. Keith Urban received 59, just 17% of the year. There was no ongoing alimony, only a prepaid lump sum settlement. A clean, decisive break. As media narratives swirled, Russell Crowe stepped forward to defend Nicole's name. To him, the custody math wasn't cruelty. It was reality, a reflection of years where one parent carried the weight while the other was rarely home. In the aftermath, Russell Crowe became Nicole's anchor, offering daily support and unwavering loyalty, even as it reportedly strained his own relationship. With Brittany Theriot, he chose loyalty over comfort, the same way he always had. The fairy tale may be over, but the truth is finally out. From that first spark in 2005, to the betrayal in 2018, to a custody split that shocked everyone. This story was never about one moment. It was about years of quiet erosion. Russell Crowe didn't create the ending, he witnessed it. Thanks for watching. If this story surprised you, share your thoughts below, and we'll see you in the next video.